Hi everyone, my name is Michael Roper. I'm a director at Architecture, presenting for you today our project Arcadia. So this is a renovation for a couple of around my age. They don't have children, but they often have friends and family coming to stay. I'd like to begin by talking about our client's brief. Our clients provided this beautifully descriptive brief, which was less concerned with how many bathrooms they wanted and more concerned with the qualities they were looking for in a home. So throughout this presentation, I'm going to be reading some extracts from their brief, as well as some of their more recent reflections on the house to help illustrate our aspirations and their aspirations for the project. And for a bit of background, I mean, we really are a practice that values the process of developing projects that reflect the lives and character of our clients. And so receiving a brief like this, where they've taken so much care, was a real dream. So a little bit about our clients. This is straight from their brief. Finn is from rural New Zealand. It is a vast landscape with mountains and braided rivers cutting through the plains that wedge them apart. I should say this is the front of their house. Tim is from the west coast of South Australia. The sea is everywhere you look and defines the landscape more than the land itself. So as they say, we come from places where it's impossible to feel hemmed in. You can see for miles and there's always something familiar on the horizon to get your bearings when you're feeling a bit lost. And you can see here how we're really kind of trying to cut these views through the house to distant landmarks. And there's this kitchen on the left-hand side here, which is reminiscent of a wash house in a sunroom in a kind of a pastoral setting. So coming from these contexts, they wanted a home connected to notions of landscape. And yet here we are in the thick of Brunswick. Our brief focused on creating a place of calm retreat while still maintaining a connection beyond the boundaries of our site. You can see here that the house really is bedded in the fabric of Brunswick, and yet you can also see that it's casting its eye out to the horizon. As we found it, this Edwardian house was in pretty poor shape, had the usual accretion of half-baked extensions and outhouses. And so in our design, we've retained a patchwork of these rooms with new spaces woven through them. The front two rooms have been restored. This back end of the house is entirely new, and everything through this kind of midsection is something of a hybrid underneath the existing roof. And from the beginning, we've conceptualized this house and garden as a single landscape, taking our cue from our clients. So rooms were demolished underneath the existing roof to create garden courtyards, indoor, outdoor, and partially covered. These frame the heart of the house, where there are always views to 2 or 3 gardens. 2 fireplaces have been retained, these dark blocks here, and a new one added. And we've really kind of understood these as like relics of the old building, kind of like constructed relics in the pastoral landscape. Skylights are their counterpoint, shafts of mass in the fireplaces and shafts of light coming down through those skylights. The meandering path stitches it all together with rooms, nooks, and gardens along the way. We keep coming back to the idea of gradients rather than stark thresholds, they tell us. Upstairs is a studio apartment for visiting for friends and family, with a separate rear lane entrance for Airbnb opportunities. We don't see the house and garden as 2 separate entities. We've discussed the idea that the whole site functions like a garden path. And you can see that here as you're moving through the length of the house, the way space is unfolding. With changes in materials, textures, shading, light, and outlook evolving as you move through. So that you feel drawn onto the next space, all the way from the front gate to the laneway out the back. And you can see here on the right-hand side that one of those skylights and how we're using light to really lead movement through the house. Moving through, there's some sense of adventure, some wonder about what comes next. And here in this photo, you're seeing how wherever you are in the house, that it's always leading you around the next corner, much like you might move through kind of a meandering garden. And you're seeing through across this little internal garden with the skylight above, across the dining area, out as kind of a slot window to that semi-covered courtyard in the middle of the house, where you've got that relic of a fireplace burning in the background. So it's always leading you further on. The design means we're always sensing both the urban and natural environments we live in to seek out sun or shade, solitude or company. And here we've really got one of those gathering spaces. So we're looking from the internal living area to an external living area, semi-covered, these places of gathering within the house, but also these places of retreat, these quieter, more intimate moments for reflection, reading, study. And as they say, we don't want a big house that makes us feel like we are rattling around in it when it's just the two of us. We'd like to maintain some sense of intimacy in scale. We want somewhere that will protect us and hold us, but more of an eyrie than a bunker. And you can see that it's got a lovely kind of enclosing, enveloping quality to it, that at the same time throws itself open to its environment. We would like a thoughtful use of textures and colors, natural materials that have character but do not visually overwhelm. And you can see we've used very natural material palette, stone flooring, concrete, timber, bagged brick, pigmented bagged brickwork, steel, all of these materials that will patina and age gracefully with time. We aren't afraid of materials that will change with time and use, they told us. And so even beneath this pigmented bagged brickwork, there's a cream brick, which over time, as the bagging flakes away, will reveal a recycled cream brick underneath.
1 minute remaining.
Craftsmanship over fashion is something that we care about. Our client's brief was truly our treasure map. The outcome has highlighted to us the value of going deep with our clients to deliver something unique to them and their lives. In this case, Arcadia, a pastoral utopia offering simplicity and contentment. In summary, our summary, notions of home are as much a projection of our dreams and memories as they are the bricks and linen cupboards that anchor them. Tangled in the sheets of inner urban Melbourne, Arcadia is a fever dream of pastoral histories. Shafts of light lend weight to rustic walls. Burnt out chimneys dot the landscape, some still burning. Distant views draw the eye, inside and out. The house is ablush with the perpetual hue of an early rise and an early rest. It's enough to get the roosters crowing. Thank you.